Kojo,
Hey,
what's up?
Salabe, so what's up for your side?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did. Charlie, happy wifey.
she did cool. She
Hey,
did.
bro. Bro, you're the happiest man alive.
I feel like killer. Charlie, how the
Charlie,
family they do?
you ladies still chasing Kojo. Stop that.
Please,
He's a married man.
please. I beg you.
So, bro, I
Mm-hmm.
get question based.
Talk to me.
Do you think it's wise for people to take marital advice
Mm-hmm.
from others who are not married?
I think it's a 50-50 thing. I can't give a straight yes, and at the same time, I can't give a straight no because I've come across some some people who are not there yet, like they are not married yet. But talking with them, hearing their point of view on the whole institution, you can tell that they have a good head on their shoulders. Like they reason, they think. I agree. There are some things you need to be in it to have a full understanding of some of the things that go on. You realize that when you get into it, the mindset you had before, you go like, probably I said that if wifey, or if I should want to do this and this, and she says that and that, I'll go like, no, I'm the man of the house. Yeah. You're in a back and forth with your wife on something. You feel like you are right.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't need to be right.
Mm-hmm.
You know you are right. You just lose the back and forth for peace. After that, you just go and explain yourself, and you don't have to be like, this is my point, I have to drive it through. So going back to it, yes, there are some guys who have a good head on your shoulder and they can give you solid advice from a singles man point of view. So that your whole head is not about, I'm a husband, this is what I have to do. Sometimes you just need to think about it, outside that, so they can help with that perspective or that point of view. But there are others too that do,
So you're saying it's 50-50.
yeah, it's not a definite yes or no.
Okay, so when people are listening or when people are getting advices from people generally, how do you determine if this is a solid one and it should be applicable to your life or not?
Marriage, advice is not a one cup fits all size thing. The way you run your home, right? I can apply that to mine, So let's say even with you, when you share some things with me, I have to sit down, think through it, know what I can apply to my life and what I can't, because even twins don't come out the same. They look like they are identical or no, but they still have different personalities. So you don't expect them to act the same way. So likewise, we cannot expect homes to be alike, So you give me advice on, oh bro, Charlie, they do this, they do that, they do that. If I sit down, can I do this? No, but this I can. So let me, put this and try to run with it and see how best it
Bro,
works.
sorry, let me just dig in just a little deeper.
Okay.
When you say I can't do this, I can do that, how do you determine what you can do and what you can't do in a marital home?
Yes, so we should all know our strengths and our weaknesses. And sometimes too, you should be able to accept criticisms in the sense that you've been told that you are good at this and you are not good at that. Or maybe these are the things you do that people don't like. And these are some of the things that people think you are great at, So when you advise me on, let's say, these are the things you do to make your home work, I should be able to assess myself, be true to me, and know that I can't, like this, like you gave me 5 things. 2 things out of the 5, I know that they are not my strengths. And I know that if I try to do that with my wife,
It may not work.
it may not work. Maybe my approach to it or something will rub it off the wrong way. So the 3 things that I think I'm good at, let me push those 3. And the 2, I'll find my way around it. If I can, cool. If I can't,
Then you just
I just
see. You mentioned something very important that you would assess yourself. Do you think a lot of the times, one, people don't assess themselves, and even if they do, they are not truthful to themselves?
Yes. So I was going to say that people do assess themselves, but it's just that we are not honest with ourselves. Maybe I can sit here and say, oh, I'm a young man with a, head full of hair, and no, but that's not a true assessment of myself. I'm bald. Some people assess themselves and think that they are him, they are that guy, but sometimes you are just not that guy.
People have often said that the greatest form of deception is self-deception.
Oh yeah. We sometimes think that, based off of, you see a man that you go like, I like the way this man is, like, he's wealthy, when he gets home, like, maybe your boss at work, he walks in, he's neat, he's well dressed, he is respected. Hey, you do that. Hey, you do that. And like, people move. He moves the company. People move him. You go like, I want to be like this guy. Like what? Yeah, I understand. He's not all that. You understand? You assess yourself. You look at him. You go like, this guy, I can match him boot for boot. Yeah, probably you can in the workplace, because that's who he is. That's his title at work. Behind closed doors, you don't know who he is as a husband.
Yeah.
And when we see some of these things, we think that, you assess yourself and think that, I can be like this man, or I can be better than him. But because you cannot be the boss at work, you go home and try and be that man at home.
No, I get you.
Because you believe that you can be like your boss, but unfortunately, what he's doing at work, you cannot do. You cannot walk in and be doing, hey, you do this, hey, you do that. So when you get home, that's when you practice what you are seeing at work.
But that's sad, because what makes anyone feel like home should be the place where you exert, some abusive authority and things like that?
Happy charity begins at home. So if you are good at it at home, then like when you are trying to be good at something, you start from a place where you feel the most comfortable. So you start at home. So when you feel like, okay, I've been able to, run things at home, then now,
you take it out.
Now let's expand the coverage and see how people take it.
Okay. What advice would you give, especially to spouses who feel their spouse is not, being truthful in their assessments of themselves, and therefore whatever, action they are taking, behaviors they're exhibiting, is actually affecting the family or the relationship? Let me put it that way.
True. So I feel we all need people we are accountable to, not our spouse. People outside home. It can be a very close friend.
Yeah.
It can be your mom, can be your dad, uncle, pastor, family friend, or a counselor. But it needs to be somebody who will not take your side just because you brought it to them, him or her. You understand? Because sometimes you can tell your spouse this and this and this is what they're doing, and they don't see it. They can't see it. You know. So you need an external man or woman to be able to assess what you two are saying and what you two are going through, to be able to tell your spouse that this is not done.
You know, my challenge with this sometimes, and I think personally I've been accused of that a lot. Maybe I go too hard when I feel something is true. Maybe I go too hard. But how do you handle situations where you're telling this person, hey, probably you're on the wrong path, what you're doing is wrong, and the person refuses to take it consistently? Consistently. I'm sure spouses face things like that too. Consistently.
So this is
And may I say, I have noticed, let me be guided in my comments, but I've noticed that most of the times, whatever behavior someone has before marriage, I mean, they bring it straight in.
oh yes.
Straight in.
Oh yes. Let me shift a bit from what
Like what I
you're
mean
talking
is,
about.
marriage can't just change you overnight. It
Oh
won't.
yes. There before I even got in it, there were times where I had, friends were like, oh, they are chopping around. The moment they get into the institution of our rear, they will stop. And I was like, I know myself. I know that things don't work like that. You just can't say, oh, let me do this up until this point and stop. Because the stop will not just end things like that. Maybe you would want to stop, but the girl or the girls you are doing the freaky with, no, they don't feel like they would want to stop right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And body no be firewood.
Yeah.
And I know you've heard me say this a lot. The Bible didn't say jog away from temptation, or walk fast away from temptation,
Flee.
or even run. Kale flee. Joseph left his towels, boxers, or whatever. Ogwanye. So yes, what you are saying is true. Whatever you think that you are not good at, whatever flaws that you have, make sure that if you know that you are going to marry next year, give it that 1 year gap. Stop it, because you fail. There are times where you get into a 1-1 then you try and bounce back. Yes, but don't say that you are doing it.
Some people say, Charlie, the night before the wedding. No.
Oh, some people, even the very day of this thing, they do that. Oh, that is their one last AE. But
man,
yeah, you can't do that. That one, you really can't do that.
I see. So what I was asking earlier. So for people like that who still not take an advice, is it that you just leave them? What do you recommend? Because imagine a situation where this is a very close person of yours, like a friend. This is a friend, and consistently you try to advise as a friend, and the person won't take it. The person keeps doing what they want. But how do you?
Oh, I think me now, my friends know that I can't come and kill myself. Because me now, my own life, now I'm not yet seeing top. I can't, I can't come and be, telling you constantly that, oh, Charlie, this thing you are doing is not cool. This thing you are doing. It gets to a point. Me now, I'll get tired of hearing myself say this thing you are doing is not cool. Personally, after some age, we don't you don't like pester people like, oh, you are trying to, no.
You want to do it, just
if we said it once or twice and you not change your ways, there's no need to
persist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because self-assessment, yeah. And you need to be willing to go like oh, Charlie, what do you think? If you look at me and some of the things I do, be straight with me. Just give me, what do you think? If sometimes you can't ask, and if you ask a friend that, or if you ask a spouse, or maybe a family member or something, be prepared to hear things you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
If you know that, the one that you've gone to is a very, very close friend or your loved one, or something, just tell them, Charlie.
I think generally people don't like to hear the truth.
Yes.
People don't like the truth. People don't like the truth.
People don't like it.
They're more comfortable hearing, compliments and things that do exist.
Yeah.
When it comes to the truth, it's a challenge. All right. Thank you very much, bro. A word of advice to the upcoming ones following your footsteps.
Eh? I don't get advice, so
you don't get advice.
I just
right now there he be counselor.
Oh no, just
counselor Kojo. For put your feet on the ground.
If you're a Christian, read the Bible.
I like that.
Understand Christ.
Yeah.
When I say understand Christ, Charlie, understand Christ.